Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, March 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you to Coleman and Company on a Monday morning. It got cold last night, and there's quite a bit of frost out there this morning. And had to do a little scraping on my windshield, the part that wasn't covered. But anyway, we welcome you, and of course, had to do a little scraping on my windshield, the part that wasn't covered. But anyway, we welcome you, and of course, each Monday at this time, we feature Absolute Kubota, which is located at 1506 West Main in Lebanon. At Absolute Kubota, you'll find Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, and they have the X-Mark zero-turn mowers as well. We like to say that they have everything from weed eaters to hay balers, and you can check them out at www.absolutekubota.com. And Clint Kelly is the one who runs the service department and is usually with us on Mondays. And we talk a lot about the service department. It's still early in the year, and nobody is doing much yard mowing yet, but it is just in a few days probably, and there might be a few who've done a little bit already. But I say all this to remind you that you need to have those mowers in top-notch condition and especially you people who are professional lawn mowers who make extra money, or that is your livelihood. You want those mowers in tip-top shape, and they can get them for you that way at Absolute Kubota. And there's going to be a backlog before long if there isn't already. So if you haven't done that, haven't had maintenance done or repairs done that need to be, get on down to Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. You might give them a call and make an appointment. I don't know how covered up that Clint and his service department is, but call 615-449-6171 and get a time to take your mower in, or tractor, or whatever equipment that might need maintenance. This is still the off season, and there's not much dirt that's turned yet, but it won't be long. It'll be garden time, so go ahead and get everything in shape now. And if you're thinking about a Kubota tractor or one of those big pieces of equipment that they have on display there in their parking lot, 1506 West Main, they've got a lot of things for you to see. And they have some great deals. Now, I don't have any details on them, but you can go in and ask them. They have some kind of special every month, and Kubota has quite a name for quality and longevity as far as the equipment goes. It lasts and lasts and lasts, and in addition to that, you can write it off their lot, and you can write it off your taxes if you are so inclined, and it fits your situation. www.absolutekubota.com is where you'll find them, and a lot of information available there, and we hope that you'll take advantage. And let me remind you, too, there's Red Max outdoor power equipment, including Red Max chainsaws, grass trimmers, leaf blowers, edgers, and hedge clippers, and everybody needs some of that. As well as the Land Pride and Hustler brands, which are part of Kubota as well. Well, again, all of this waiting for you, 1506 West Main here in Lebanon. Matt Bryson is as we might say, the chief cook and bottle washer. It's Matt's business, and he's been doing a great job. And he has Ryan Cornwell in sales, Caleb Hieronymus, Clint Kelly, and Ben Spurlock takes care of seed and fertilizer, and Jeff Johnson is another member of the team there. So go by, pay them a visit, whether it's seed or fertilizer or Kubota equipment, mowers, whatever it is, they're going to take care of you. They are open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and now Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. All right, we're 9 minutes after the hour. State Representative Susan Lynn joins us this morning, and we're going to find out what's happened in the last month from Representative Lynn. Good morning. You forgot to tell me 2 weeks ago that you weren't going to be able to make it on Monday, and call me on the Friday afternoon before, so I had to get in high gear.
I'm sorry. Who did you have?
Well,
I didn't listen. Who did you have? I was traveling.
It happens, and now don't worry about it. I've in 31 years.
Was it a good guest?
Made enough friends. I'm trying to remember now who I even had. Oh, I had our new trustee.
Oh, great! Yeah.
He came out and
That's fantastic.
And brought a couple of members of his office team.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Everything was fine.
That's a good opportunity.
But how
That's
have you
great.
been?
I've been well. I've been well. Today's St. Patrick's Day, so I wish everybody out there a happy St. Patrick's Day.
And you are wearing green this morning.
I sure am. I have a bill on the floor tonight, and I just thought, well, I'm going to wear St. Patrick green to run that bill. And everybody gets some corned beef and cabbage today, or a corned beef sandwich. It makes you feel real good and full, and it's great.
Well, Senator Pody mentioned Friday that things are going pretty fast, and I think because really of a pending lawsuit might have something to do with that, and some of the members of the legislature are going to have to testify and so on. We won't get into that, but that might be one reason that things are on the hurry up.
On a fast track?
The fast
track,
yes.
I don't know. I think things definitely are going very fast. I'm not sure if it's because of the pending lawsuit or not. A lot of members have been subpoenaed, either by the government or by the defense.
Yeah.
And I have been subpoenaed by the defense. I don't know what on earth I could possibly contribute. I have no idea. But they sent me a subpoena to be there, and I will be there. I think it's like April 22nd or something. And
does that trouble you a little bit? Not really expecting to be called?
No, it doesn't. I think they are just subpoenaing everybody that they can who might be a character witness or something like that. And I was subpoenaed by Cade Cothran, his defense. And Cade was the Speaker's chief of staff. And honestly, I always felt that he did a very good job. He was a polite young man. Anytime you ever needed help, and that's what the Speaker's office is there for. I'm running my committee and have to make this happen or that happen or whatever. And, he'd always pick up the phone and help you. And, as for what they're accused of, I have no knowledge of it. I never used their services or anything like that. Apparently, they were doing maybe campaign mailers for folks, and I think the government's accusing them of not mailing out all that they said they did, but I never use them. I always do my own. I actually do my own design for my campaign mailers. I call the printer myself. I get it printed, and they take it to the mailing house, and they give me a receipt showing me what was mailed from the mailing house. It is an official receipt. So, like I said, I don't know what I can contribute, but I will be there.
Yeah. What's happened that we really need to talk about this morning? I think actually a lot, really, and it's been pretty busy in the House.
And Sheriff Bryan was with us last week, and that was really great. The sheriffs come down every year, and they talk about the legislation. They talk with each other. You're talking sheriffs from all over the state come and get together and talk about this legislation. But they also contribute to us. They tell us, their opinion of the legislation that's being run. They tell us what their needs are, which, of course, they tell us individually out of session, but seeing them all together is certainly very impactful. So Sheriff Bryan, I walked into Commerce Committee, and Sheriff Bryan was there in Commerce Committee with probably, oh my goodness, close to 30 other sheriffs in our Commerce Committee, and they were there to watch the hemp bill be run. Leader Lamberth was running a bill to try to get control of the hemp industry. If anybody's noticed, it's a little out of control. The smoke shops and all that, and the products they're selling. So what this bill will do is the hemp dealers will have to get a license from the state, register with the state and get a license to sell. And then also the ABC will be the authority to investigate and any wrongdoing or accused wrongdoing. But I do know this. I do feel it's very much needed. The Delta 8 is absolutely out of control. It is causing schizophrenia in young people. And we've been hearing that for a couple of years now, and this bill's been in the works for a couple of years. I think it's an important bill. The bill would have banned the Delta 8. Unfortunately, at the last minute, the legislator who was actually sitting next to me, he had a surprise amendment to put that back in the bill to allow, what the federal government says can be sold as hemp product, and so not to have a more restrictive Tennessee standard. And I voted no on that amendment. I do think that regulation of the industry is necessary. I'm just sorry that was not taken out of the bill. But we'll see. It goes to the floor. Maybe we can have a big old floor fight and try to get that amendment off the bill.
Well, apparently we've had some bad results from previous legislation that opened up the door a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And well, if it's a whole Tennessee Sheriff's Association for this legislation, for this change, they're 100% behind.
Yeah, it's not for the amendment, but they're for the legislation. And let me just clarify, the hemp products, there's a number of products, and a lot of them are pain relieving and all of that. In fact, we've been given little samples by the industry. They give a tiny little sample to everybody. And I'll tell you, look at my fingers. I have a little arthritis in my fingers. And it works. It really does. And I remember one day my husband had kind of overdid it with the yard work. And I said, well, let's put some of this on. No. And I said, get over here. And I forced him. I put it on his legs. And he was surprised that it really did work. But the thing is, when you smoke it, that's when it has you want to say intoxicating effects, whatever. It's when it's smoked. So not as a product that you're going to apply to your body. It is when it is smoked that it has those effects. And it can be very, very bad for some folks. I know someone personally. Her daughter was engaged to a young man, and her daughter and he smoked the Delta 8, and he got schizophrenia. And in fact, I just asked her the other day, I was going to committee to hear this legislation, and I said, can you tell me that young man that your daughter was engaged to, how's he doing? Is he any better? And she said, I don't know. He went home, and we went home to some state, wasn't from Tennessee, and she said, we really haven't heard from him. So that's probably not a good sign that he really just, and listen, physicians will tell you at the psychiatric hospitals, it's very bad.
Yeah. State Representative Susan Lynn is here. We've got to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways, and it's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Trying to pick up a little bit more volume in the last few minutes. 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. Still moving at the moment. 65 down through Madison as it builds on 24 up through Antioch. Just in the last few minutes going westbound. 24 as you head up between Harding Place and Briley. It's increasing. 24 coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Hey, whenever you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, call Independent Roofing Specialists. Just check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Farm Bureau Expo Center would like you to consider us for your next corporate outing. Our 79,000 square feet of adaptable event space offers unparalleled versatility right here in Wilson County. Trainings, luncheons, and meetings are just a few of the many types of events that we can accommodate throughout the week. For booking details, as well as upcoming events, visit farmbureauexpo.com or find us on Facebook at Farm Bureau Expo. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Farm Bureau Expo.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
It was, just a real lovely one.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. State Representative Susan Lynn is with us. When it's time to go to a break, we don't stop talking, but the conversation is a little different. Right. And sometimes we're still talking when the on-air light comes on, as we were then. But anyway, back to the state legislature. There's talk of you shutting down sooner. Is that probably going to happen?
It feels like we are on track to do that. And I wouldn't mind. I feel like we keep creeping a little later and later. I think last year we got out just about May. And I would not mind getting out earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have all three of you. Senator Pody, of course, comes every Friday. You and Representative Clark Boyd alternate Mondays, and I have you scheduled through April. So we'll pretty much stay with that, even if you adjourn a little bit before the end of April. But come May, it'll be a different ball game, I guess, unless something happens that we're not aware of. There's some other things on your mind this morning. I don't. You're on certain committees. There's certain things that you deal with more than others, and when you got 99 members of the House, there's a lot of legislation that's considered, but you got the different committees that they go through, and what depending on what committees you're on is where most of your energy is directed, I think.
Oh, definitely, definitely. You really look at the bills that are in your subcommittee, your full committee, and people will call me about bills in other committees, and they get, they can be sometimes very upset, but you kind of have a idea of whether or not a bill is going to pass or not, just by the nature of the bill. And I'll say to folks, I'm not going to see that bill unless it makes it to the floor. So I'll make some phone calls and find out what's going to happen. And then I get back to them and let them know what I think.
Well, what about the things that have been going on in education? There's been quite a bit of activity, quite a bit of people there on one side or the other, and your take on all that.
Yeah, I was not there on, I think it was Tuesday morning, or was it Wednesday morning? We decided to roll one of my bills a week, so it was Tuesday morning, so I didn't have to be there. But boy, I heard that there was just about a riot down at the legislature. There was a bill to say that if you are not in the district, which is already the law, that you have to pay for your education. Well, that will now apply to, if the bill passes, it would now apply to illegal aliens because they're not residents of the state or of the United States, so they would have to pay. So apparently there was a huge number of people there protesting that bill. I think the committee did pass that bill, and it was in the subcommittee, so now it's going to the full committee. But boy, yes, there was quite a riot. There's been a lot of interest too, and if the U.S. Department of Education goes away, what would happen? Would we lose the school lunch program? Would we lose the additional funds for children with disabilities, for repairing schools that are in school districts that are, very low income? They don't have the money for the maintenance of the school buildings. They put it all into educating the children. And so, there's been a lot of concern about that. But I'll tell you, I am not that concerned about it. Our State Department of Education, they administer those funds that come in from the U.S. Department of Education, and they would just be block granted to us. It wouldn't have to run through the U.S. Department of Education, and where, right now what happens is our school districts provide reports to our State Department of Education. Our State Department of Education compiles the reports, and then they give it to the U.S. Department of Education, and then they review the reports. Well, that last layer would go away, and it would just be administered like a regular grant from the federal government, and they have people who review those grants. So you hand in your paperwork to the grant office, and they review it, and there would be a lot of a big layer to go away, and that would probably not be a bad thing. I don't know that it makes a difference.
We would, I think we would like to have it with less strings attached, maybe almost no strings attached, and we use it how and where we would like to.
And that's one of the problems when the federal government provides those funds to our states and then to our school districts. There are strings attached. They say, if you're going to accept these funds, you have to do something that is completely unrelated to the activities those funds pay for. So that would go away. And I really think that would be a good thing. And then, all that bureaucracy in Washington, they were making sure that those activities that they were demanding that really aren't the will of Tennesseans, that they were being done. And, I don't know if you noticed it. I sure did. I noticed that in the last, I'd say 3 years, maybe, that school districts all across the country got incredibly woke. I mean, ridiculous things, absolutely. And parents are showing up at school board meetings and they're mad and all of that.
Yes.
And that was the strings that were attached to that money from the U.S. Department of Education. And hopefully that nonsense will stop, and they will start reflecting the will of the parents in the district.
Well, there seems to be concern that those that are here illegally, these children, I mean, I can understand maybe somewhat from both sides here. It's not the children's fault, first of all. Yeah. They do need to be educated, and you can't wait till they're 20 years old to give them first grade education. I mean, so what do? That's kind of the dilemma here, I think, and there are some people who certainly are coming down really hard on the legal situation, and especially when we have some of these people who are. I guess a lot of them are being deported. They can find them who are criminals who participate in criminal activity here, and I don't know what you do about their children. But to me, it's a big dilemma that needs a solution, and I'm not sure just what that is. But it's something we got to deal. We got to do something about.
Well, it's an attempt to, let's say, demagnetize. You remember 20 years ago. When maybe more than 20 years ago, because it was right before I was elected, Tennessee passed a law surreptitiously because it was just written out of a bill that was passing. But they passed a law to basically allow illegal aliens to get driver's licenses in Tennessee because they took out the fact that you had to be an American citizen and show proof. That there was a rewrite on the driver's license law, and they took that part out, and members didn't notice, and it passed. And that was very unfortunate. Well, we successfully got it passed that you do have to be have proof of citizenship or a visa to get a driver's license in Tennessee. We were successful. It took a long time. I think it was 2006 or 2008 even. And you know why that happened? Because a couple from Wilson County, in fact, from Mount Juliet, the husband was driving his wife to her cancer treatment, and they were just over the Davidson County line in Hermitage, and during the middle of the day, a drunk illegal alien struck them and killed them both. And that was the motivation to finally clean up that law and make it again that illegal aliens can't get driver's licenses. Well, that demagnetized Tennessee. Illegal aliens went to other states because that driver's license, that ID is a ticket to get on airplanes and to do so many other things. Well, my sense is that this bill, to say that illegal aliens would have to pay for their children to attend public school, is another attempt to demagnetize. Am I going to go to Tennessee because it's going to cost me to send my child to school, or am I going to go to another state? It's an attempt to demagnetize the state. And boy, it doesn't sound nice, does it? But it is effective. We know that when that law was changed to say that illegal aliens cannot get a driver's license again, we saw an immediate effect here in Tennessee. We really did. And we've done a number of other things to demagnetize Tennessee over the years. It got out of control the last 4 years, way out of control. And I feel so bad for our sheriff's departments and our local police agencies because they have really, really borne the brunt of all of the illegal alien criminal activity that we have seen in our state and all the states.
We've got about 30 seconds. What's anything big happening this week necessarily?
Tonight, I have a bill on the floor, Restore Trust in Public Health Messaging Act. And you'll remember during COVID, CDC was putting out a lot of information. And of course, the state of Tennessee gets that information from CDC. And they also, they parrot that information because they want people to learn. Well, a lot of it wasn't exactly true, according to the FDA. So we had conflicting things going on. And I'll tell you, the fights that are created between families. I mean, I have cousins who still don't speak to each other because of all that went on during COVID. And boy, I wish they would just forgive and forget, but they're not. And so what this bill says is that if the state of Tennessee is talking about a product, we don't know what the CDC is going to say. They might make up anything they want to make up. We have no idea. But if they're talking about a product, they have to go with what the FDA knows to be true. And the FDA, when a product is approved for sale or use, the FDA approves that product for certain things, and that is what's true. And that way, Tennessee will always be that source of truth, even if the CDC tries to say, this or that. Our State Department of Health will be the source of truth and just say what the FDA says about it, and not, things that just really aren't true. Remember, we were masking our children, masking ourselves. There'd be people in the supermarket who were literally mad at you if you had the mask down under your nose because you just couldn't breathe, maybe you had a cold or something, stuffy nose. And people would just, really be mad at other people. Yeah. And that was unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary, and it was tragic.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here. Thanks for being with us. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
State Representative Susan Lynn, that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Please keep it right here, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still trying to clean up a couple of minor accidents. Starting to get a little bit busier here in the last few minutes in a couple of spots. 65 north there at Spring Hill. All that traffic coming up past Saturn Parkway out of Murray County into Williamson. It's busy but moving. 24 westbound into Antioch and leaving Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, headed towards Nashville. It's finally starting to really pick up. When you need dependable towing here in Middle Tennessee, call STR Towing and Recovery for your car, big truck. It doesn't matter. Check them out. You'll see strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, or save up to $1,000. Now through January 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon.
We'll have mostly sunny skies for today with much warmer conditions. Afternoon highs will be in the mid-70s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the lower 50s, and then partly cloudy for our Tuesday. Afternoon highs in the mid-70s. This forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
Together.
And we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company. It's a Monday, and Mondays at this time we feature Gail Helen. Gail is the Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center, and she's right here this morning just just chomping at the bit to tell us all about the place where she hangs out, and honestly, I think we can say she dearly loves.
I do. I love my job. And I mean, I'm so proud of the Expo Center. We have, I've been looking at some of the data for the naming rights for the mayor, and what that illuminated for me is, when I came on board 5 years ago, I was learning the systems and where they were and how everything came about. And so a solid foundation, very grateful for having that solid foundation, very grateful for, the foresight that the commission had in trusting the process and building the building. And then I look at where we were when I first came on board, and our team has changed a little bit over the past 5 years, but not a whole lot. And you look at where we were and you look at where we are today, and you look at the fact that I can proudly say that we have awareness on a national basis. We have awareness on an international basis, and we have awareness across the state, and we still have, we obviously are improving our awareness locally. And that just makes me really happy to be able to say that, because it means that people know who we are, and they know we're here, and they know we're an option. And with that being said, then that just makes it more possible for us to be the answer to whatever their meeting needs are. Because we don't want to try to force fit somebody's desire to have an event and try to make it work. We want it to work because it's a good fit. And if it's a good fit, then everybody is happy.
Well, one of the things, too, that we always look at is the bottom line, the monetary bottom line. And I think that has not only been good, but improved in the last 5 years.
It has, and there's a lot of factors for that. I mean, we did a rate increase about midway through me being on board, made some changes to setup days. Used to be that there was not quite the demand. So it was easy to offer, if you want to come in the day before and nobody's got a book, no problem. That quickly dissipated, and it's like, no, if you're in the building, you need to pay something to be in the building. And so that helped. And we're facing another rate increase, which is probably no big surprise to anybody, because, I don't know an aspect of my personal life that costs have not gone up, and I know I'm not alone in that. So, everybody is experiencing those increases in costs. So we have to do our due diligence, and I've ran the numbers and I've played it out, and I'm like, no, we're there. So we'll be talking about that at the Ag Committee meeting at the end of the month.
Well, I just sitting here wondering if there's any ways you could supplement your money. I was thinking, well, if you got some good chickens that lay a lot of eggs.
Now that I would be okay with. For somebody who likes to bake, I would be okay with that. But I don't know that that's the answer per se. We even toyed with the idea of we've never booked the expo by the hour. Some people go, well, I need this room, but I only need it for 3 hours. Well, the way that our system is set up is that you book the expo for the day, 7 a.m. to midnight. It's not just 3 hours. But the cautionary tale there is what they fail to consider is they're going to need about 2 to 3 hours for setup at a minimum. And then they're going to have to clean up. So by the time you start adding that up, that 7 a.m. to midnight, depending on when their event starts, it's usually needed. So,
well, the thing of it is, you have dates way into the future. The word is getting out, as you explained very well in the beginning. I wonder sometimes, well, where do we go from here? But because it seems like you've reached another plateau, some goals that no doubt you had at least in the back of your mind when you started.
That's true.
So I don't know. Can you get any better?
Well, Zendel and I are looking at it, and the mayor has looked at it with us, and there's options, but you have to not only look at what the option is that's in front of you, but you have to have those goals, those lofty goals. I like to think big. And then if I fall short of that, at least I fell above where I was. So that's kind of how I look at it. And, I don't know what that is yet. I think that is about to come. We're going to turn 10 next year. And I think that that's a perfect time to reestablish those goals.
All right, we've come to the end of our time here. It's a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next Monday.
Sounds wonderful. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Gail Hallam, Director of Marketing Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. We're about 21 before the hour, and Mayor Randall Hutto is here. Mayor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it's nice to have you, of course. You come here on the Monday before the County Commission meeting and tell us what you've done since you were here last and a little bit about tonight's meeting. And Mike Jennings will be here in the morning. His smile won't be hardly as big after Tennessee's lost to Florida yesterday, but MJ's is really big this morning.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I haven't said anything to her about it yet, but I'll probably will when it's all over here. But anyway, I don't want to take up, I know you always have usually have a little bit more than we have time for, so don't let me hold you up. Let's get going.
No problems at all, Mr. Coleman. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. And MJ's got her nice Florida Gator outfit on in there today, and so I think she's top to bottom with the Gators, and they played well yesterday. I thought they shot it well, and a lot of commentators believe they're the best team in the country. So that will be decided before long because they picked the top. 64 yesterday or 48? I can't remember now.
68.
68 now.
Yeah. They have these play-in games. But anyway, 68 teams, and we'll get down to one in about a month.
It's an exciting time. I always enjoy this time of year, and a lot of times me and the kids will pick a bracket and see who wins there. So a little competition among family members, and always good. But it's been a good month, and talking to Gail and the expo continues to be really a good asset for the county, and we definitely want it to make money. That was the goal when we put it in order to make sure that it wasn't a deficit on people. And many times parks and those things don't make money. They are a quality of life. And I think this one is kind of a double win for us. It is a quality of life, no doubt. And it's also a win in the fact that it is, paying for itself. And that's a positive thing. And appreciate Gail and Zindel and, Josh Major and all of them for what they do at the Ag Center. It is a good thing. As we look back at last month, we think about we had two people legends that passed along, and Coach Bruce Skeen that we talked about on here, and of course Mayor Don Fox. And remember both of them and their families. And kind of wanted to also let you know about something on Wednesday evening, March the 19th. The Wilson County Courthouse will be lit up in green. This comes just ahead of a Donor Awareness Month in April. We'd like to honor the families of those who have been organ donors. We got contacted by Miss Ginger Miner. I actually had her in class when I was teaching at Lebanon, who lost a 5-month-old grandson, Jaden Lackey, on March the 19th, 2023. Jaden, along with his parents, Calla Miner and Toby Lackey, were tragically killed in a car wreck. Jaden's family made the selfish decision to allow him to be an organ donor. And so his kidneys, his liver, and his heart saved 3 other lives. So we're grateful for Jaden's family and all those who make decisions like this to give life to others. And she had called and asked, could we do that? And Robert Bain, Director of Operations, said we can make that happen. So if you go by and see the courthouse lit up in green on March 19th, it'd be in honor of Jaden and his donation to other families. And so just hats off to those people for what they do there, and other people that are organ donors. Busy month to State of the County for the City of Lebanon. Went to see that in Mayor Bell and really liked his presentation where he had the people on stage to kind of ask some questions. I thought it was a great program there. Went to a Volunteer Network Building Bridges fundraisers there, Regina Gerton and Jamie Tyner, for their tireless work in Volunteer Network, which really helps us in many areas. the county, but definitely you go back and remember we just had the anniversary of March 3rd, 2020 tornado, and had the threat of that this weekend. Other people were not as lucky as we were, but we were saved. But glad to have them and what they do and what they represent in the days ahead for us. Attended to stay the city for Mount Juliet as well, Mayor Manis, and again did a great job there and got a chance to catch up on what was going on in Mount Juliet. We appointed Kenneth Hackett. That was on the docket last month when I was here to replace Mr. Jim Major, and he's hit the ground running, and all of his team and himself have tackled, just starting a new endeavor. I remember back when I first took over, and if I hadn't had Rachel Warren, I would definitely was a lost dog in high weeds for sure. But she really come to the rescue, and his team, I think, is doing the very same thing for him as he maneuvers, and he'll do a great job. Of course, Mr. Jim hadn't missed too many days. He still comes to the office and hangs out, so he's there to offer any information that he needs to be able to give to them as well. Went to Tennessee Oncology ribbon cutting out on West Main in the glass building. Really, I think about Vanderbilt Wilson coming to town and all the services now they offer the people that live in the county out without having to go to Nashville to get these treatments. And so very thankful for that and never want to overlook anything like that. Mount Juliet, of course, had a March 3rd tornado remembrance ceremony, which was good. I did not get a chance to attend that, as well as I didn't get a chance to attend, but wanted to mention that Wilson County had the 8th grade career quest, which happened at the expo, I believe, and also Jeremy Tudor, that is over the Wilson Works, along with the JECDB and Wilson County Schools, put that on and really give our students here an education of what good jobs are in Wilson County. Many times, I know at least my three that grew up here and went to Lebanon High School, they thought the best jobs were in some other county. And, I felt the need at that time that, hey, somebody ought to educate these folks. And I'm so glad that has happened and these people are doing that. It is a good asset for the county. Susan Shaw took care of a 3-star workshop. And 3-star, is an accreditation that we've worked on for a long time. It used to be at the chamber, and then it went to kind of the JECDB, and then now it ends up in our office, and Susan heads that up. But a lot of great programs have come from that. I think about the murals that are all over town now, but there are many other good programs that have come from that she heads up and starts and gets leaders together to come up with what is the next goals. And so they're working on those as we speak. Did some reading to Christina Huggins' class over in Byers Dowdy. Got to talk to first graders about government. That was a good day for sure. We talked a little bit about that, I think, the last time. Regional EMA meeting was at the Tennessee Maid Building. And Joy Cooper invited me to come and talk to all the EMA leaders across the region. So I had a chance to welcome them. And then we've had several meetings on the Wilson County as an age-friendly county. That continues to be a plus, and I think you'll hear a couple of good things that I think you will appreciate, and maybe others that will be a break to some of our seniors for some things maybe coming up in the future, but I'll wait to let them make those announcements. Spoke to the Mount Juliet Noon Rotary Club, enjoyed that. Had a lady that came to me as well, lives out in Five Oaks. Her name is Cheryl Sherman, and she had moved here from somewhere else, but she was just noticing different things maybe that would allow us to have a more beautiful county. We always had a dream here of kind of really decorating the entrances on 231, 141, 70, I-40, 840, so that when you pass those entrances and you pass the county line, you will be able to just recognize, hey, I'm in a different county. But we talked about that, and we talked about maybe finding some way to get some of the trash that we see on the side of the road picked up and that. And so she's got a wedding. She said she's going to take her, but I think she's going to head up a group for us that maybe will help do some of that. I know Mayor Bell definitely, and the city of Mount Juliet as well, Mount and Watertown, they've all worked at beautification of their cities. This will be more of a county-oriented and maybe also work with the cities. But so look forward to maybe that group starting. Anybody has an interest in being a part of that group, they'll contact our office. We'll put your name down, and when she gets ready to get started, we can hook you guys up together. I didn't get to go to, but they had the Pickett Chapel 159-year anniversary. Mary Harris took care of that this weekend. But that kind of concludes last month, Coleman.
All right, in time for us to take a break. County Mayor Randall Hutto is with us. You're on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford, the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $59.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's a little bit heavier than it was a few minutes ago on 24 westbound, coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through the Antioch area. It's trying to build westbound. Vietnam Vets out of Hendersonville headed towards Conference Drive on Vietnam Vets headed westbound. Music City Pro Wrestling presents The Awakening Saturday, April 12th at the Valor Academy Gymnasium, which is located 4531 Nolensville Pike. Get your tickets now. Check out Music City Pro Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Have you ever desired to live in a stately historical home in the Lebanon Historical District? If so, now you have the opportunity. This is Lou Ann Snyder of A.G. & Johnson Realty, and along with Ed James, we have a large 2-story home listed in the Cumberland University Historic District. It features a brand new roof plus a new HVAC system. Call Ed or myself, Lou Ann, at 615-444-0909 to schedule a tour.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Coleman and Company, our final segment here on a Monday morning. County Mayor Randall Hutto is here, and I just want to remind you that the Lebanon Special School District is hosting a job fair Thursday, March 20th, and this job fair has available positions for certified teachers, elementary and middle school, assistants, general and special education, substitutes, elementary and middle school, transportation, bus drivers, bus aides, food services, and the after-school care. And all of this is coming up Thursday, so check it out. And the other thing is that I want to just quickly remind you that the LHS class of 75 will hold its 50th reunion Saturday, May 3rd at the Lebanon Golf and Country Club, and Nancy Williams-Ash is the contact person if you want to get more information. You can find that at nancyash15@gmail.com. All right, Mayor Hutto, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. I had a call from Sarah in between time, just in case I didn't mention it. Brooke Driver in our office had worked to get a state museum exhibit, which is on the top floor of the courthouse, that talks about Black History Month, but also really signifies the Rosenwald schools that were here, located in Wilson County, one of the first black schools around. And so if you get a chance to come by, that exhibit is still there for this month, and love you to come by and view that and see what it's all about. And again, thanks to Brooke in our office for making that happen.
And that is upstairs.
Upstairs.
You walk or take the elevator.
You can, either way, right there in the commission room. And so hopefully you'll get a chance to come by and see that when you're close by. Tonight, the commission meeting, the prayer and pledge will be by Commissioner Rick Brown. We do have a public hearing tonight on a request to amend the land use plan on a rezoning property located on 8695 Highway 109 North. It's in Commissioner McFarland's district. It would be requesting to go from low-density residential area to high-density, low-intensity commercial uses as well, and rezoning the property from A1 agriculture to C3 highway commercial. It's about 1 acre and 22 tenths. Commissioner Breeze has a surprise resolution to honor someone who has been serving on a board for us for quite some time, so I'll let Mike tell you about that tomorrow. And then Sarah Davenport, of course, will take care of honoring all the Governor Star, Volunteer Star Award winners tonight as well, and from the commission. So we look forward to seeing all them and thanking them for what they did. And I thank her for working on this program. It comes around pretty quick every year. She'll tell you that and the Music City Marathon, I think, are 2 things that come around pretty quick on her, but she does an outstanding job of taking care of that. Mr. Randy Hall will be up to serve the unexpired term of Mr. Lon Myers, who left for health reasons on the Industrial Development Board. If you remember, Randy Hall was a commissioner for quite some time down in the Leadville area. We have some budget amendments tonight. Board of Education, of course, will be moving some money around, some donations that came from the backpack program, and also for the tutoring budget that's in there, particular budget, and also purchasing a new paging system that's there. WEMA has some additional appropriation to WEMA transfer funds going where they sold a 1995 tanker and putting that money back in the account. Also, they have a Homeland Security grant that's coming in, a pretty sizable grant, as well as some salary supplements from the Department of Health that will come in for incentives for EMS and fire. And, I have to thank those WEMA and their team, and we have the same thing with the Sheriff's Office, Road Commission as well, that will reach out and find the extra funds that are out there. Sometimes that kind of goes unnoticed, but every time we can find funds from somewhere else, it really lowers the burden on our own taxpayers, and so we're thankful for that, and I'm sure that our taxpayers probably contribute to those funds that we're getting in some way or another through state and federal taxes, but it's good that our bunch reaches out and gets and tries to find every dollar they can find out there that's good for our people and our citizens as well. A lot of them transfer in the trustee's office for postage. There'll be additional appropriation from the general fund in the sheriff's office for several things. One, they've got an overtime line that needs to be taken care of for the patrol officers and the captains there, as well as food expenses. They'll need a transfer there, jail overtime, and medical expenses, and also a transfer there from the sheriff's office to take it out of training and move it into travel. Some line item transfers also in the planning department where Mr. Tom left, and of course we hired Christopher Lawless to take his place, and the salaries were not the same, so there's some money left over there. Christopher's moved that over to another area to be able to take care of another employee in there, so we're making that transfer tonight. We'll also be line item transfer and planning to record some of the new issues there for bond issues on Central Pike, as well as general debt service for the Public Buildings Committee. Both of those are just cleanup items that happened out of Aaron Maynard's office. I don't know if I already mentioned this or not the last time because it hadn't been made public yet, but our finance office had a clean audit again. Audit committee's coming up this month, but again, that is a good thing. Hats off to Mr. Maynard and his team for making that happen. We're very thankful for what they do and how they manage our money and take care of that. Some people just take that for granted, but it is not an easy job. I can guarantee you that.
Have a clean slate like that. Somebody's doing their job, right?
They are doing their job, and there are a lot of moving parts, things that happen that that sometimes are out of your control. So to get a clean slate is a good thing. We're thankful for that. Transfer the capital projects we're going to in the public buildings here for Robert to restripe and reseal some of the county parking lots. Transfer out of the general fund balance to cover the fiber network. One thing that's kind of come up lately, and as you always look to try to improve safety, Robert, along with the county commission, we realize that, hey, we have video going on in all of our buildings, but wasn't linked back to one particular area. So now we've linked all those videos back to where it goes to Corey Bueller, which is our security person out in the front, to where he can see that and monitor that, and so can Robert. So that's good in case of a theft or a fire or whatever to see what was damaged. But it's definitely good in our world today just in case somebody come in that was not actually stable or whatever, and hopefully it would never happen, but an active shooter or whatever, we could see that in live time now to where we could be able to go and provide assistance. We didn't have that before, so Robert's kind of worked all that along with the IT department to bring all of those feeds back to our office there for Corey as well as Robert to be able to monitor. That's a safety thing, and that's a good thing. That they have done to do that, and I appreciate the county commission taking the lead on that. Transfer donations from archives to do book printing. The general fund will also have contractor services transfer for the Gretchen Wilson fund. Animal control there, they're going to buy a dog tag machine, which would be a good thing, I think, for them. And Gretchen Wilson donates quite a bit of funds to the animal control. We're thankful for that, and they use that in very wise ways. And then animal control, as we've talked about before, and the county commission will have the opportunity tonight. We will sell the old road commission building. where Mr. Murphy moved up to the Surprise building, sell the old Road Commission building to Animal Control for $1.5 million. They're going to pay $500,000 over the next 3 years, which is a good working relationship between those two. And Animal Control then will move, if it's approved tonight, will move off of the landfill and out to where the old Road Commission building is. And
that Oak Street?
That's not on Oak Street. That's on Tennessee Boulevard. You're going out that way where you used to get your car emission tags.
Yeah.
Right past that on the right past the Ag Center. It backs up to the Ag Center, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So this will allow for easier for our people to get to for dog adoptions and those type of things. The landfill was a good place at the time for our animal control building, but it's tough to get in and out of there, and Cindy has to have so much security around the landfill. It was tough for patrons to come out there, and really, Steve Gatlin and his crew have worked hard at trying to do more about adoptions instead of putting dogs down. So I applaud him and his team for that. But this will allow that building to be used again for a government use. It backs up to the Ag Center, so it's just, we think, kind of tailor-made for what we are. They're working well with Josh Major to make sure that we keep things safe there, kind of put a barrier around because you don't want dogs and cattle to cross, or horses for that matter. So we've taken care of that. And they'll just build on to the back of the Road Commission building. So the interior will still be for people and for offices and stuff that deal with animal control. And then they'll build a kennel on the back, so the animals will actually be back in the kennel part, not in the Road Commission building as it was. So we're trying to keep those two separate. But looking forward to that. Lauren Breeze heads up the committee on that. And they've all worked well together to try to make this happen. So that is a good thing. And then the last thing on the list tonight would be the bond for Mr. Kenneth Hackett that we have to have for the trustee's office. And that kind of concludes the meeting tonight, Mr. Coleman.
And that leaves us 10 seconds to say so long.
Okay.
You timed it just right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming every month.
Glad to be
See you
here.
next time.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. County Mayor Randall Hutto. That's it for a Monday. And until tomorrow, I wish you a magnificent day.